So, hello, this is Marty with Excellence in Education Resource Center in Monrovia, California. And today I have the privilege of speaking with Miss Lilli Witczak, who is one of my instructors. And she teaches several things. And one of the classes that I believe is going to be very exciting, very interesting, is a little class called A Window into 8 Fascinating Lives. Lilli, how are you today?
Great.
What a phenomenal idea, this title, A Window into 8 Fascinating Lives. Tell
I think
the
it's
people
I
out
think
there
it's a
what
great
this is
idea
all
for a
about.
class. I wanted to read about people.
Oh.
So yeah, and in homeschooling we're usually rather than reading a dry history textbook, we try and read real books. So
Yes,
this is more of
yes.
a these are real books about people.
Well, I always tell people you can learn more about history by reading biographies, autobiographies, and historical fiction, and
Yeah.
watch a good movie or three.
Yeah.
That's representative
Yeah.
without too much
Yeah,
political
yeah.
manipulation going on. But give me an idea of the number of books you want to read.
The goal is 8 books.
8 books.
Yes.
And who are you going to be reading about?
Oh, well, okay. So the first one, my list, cheat notes.
Yeah.
It's Fierce, How Competing for Myself Changed Everything. It's about a girl who was an Olympic athlete and her journey to
Stardom.
to the top.
Athletics.
And so that's so you think adolescent teenage girl. And then Farewell to Manzanar. That's a Japanese internment camp that I think you could drive there from here. Can't you?
Probably.
Pretty close.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I actually
We're in California, by the way.
Yeah. And I met somebody whose parent was there.
Oh.
Yeah.
Fascinating.
So yeah. Yeah. And I read that a while ago. That one.
Okay.
And then Cheaper by the Dozen. I love that book. It's so it's quirky.
What do you learn from Cheaper by the Dozen? What insights do you get? I mean, not besides, but like family dynamics.
Yeah, it was really fun because
the psychology.
Yes, yeah, it was a
diverse set of kids.
Very fun. It was really fun.
Excellent.
And the dad was an efficiency expert, so he had them trying to, make use of every second.
So he can herd cats with great success.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And then I can't. Better watch out because I don't want to spoil the book for everybody.
Okay.
And then The Story of My Life, Helen Keller.
Good book.
So yeah, good book. But she's kind of an interesting bird, a little bit strange. You wouldn't think of that. I don't know if it's in the book though.
What's wrong with being strange?
Seances and weird things like seances and things
okay.
like that. But I don't think that shows up in the book. That's something that I've learned.
Okay.
But her penmanship was really good. Isn't that weird? So no excuses. If you can see, what is your excuse for writing sloppily? So I know some kids still do anyway. Okay, and then the diary. It's the Diary of a Young Woman, which is or young girl. So that's Anne Frank.
That's powerful.
Yeah. So read that. Yeah, I've done that one before. We can actually. I'm hoping that we'll see a couple of movies. After we read the book. So that's one of them, and then Cheaper by the Dozen. That would be another one, and then so then we've got Walt Disney, his autobiography or his biography. He started late. He was a late bloomer, and he was turned down quite a few times before Mickey Mouse made it.
Well, success is a phenomenal.
Yeah, isn't that crazy? That's
Except now, I wonder what Walt Disney would think. What's going on with the Disney empire now?
I would like to know what religion he was because on Main Street you have the fire department and all these stores. There's no church, and I thought that somebody pointed that out in one of the books I read, and I thought that's interesting. I'd like to know.
That might be the genesis of why the corporation went the way it did. I don't know.
Who knows? Yeah. And then Created Equal, that I'm reading. I'm just at the end of that right now. Clarence Thomas book. I love him. He's so good. He's really a great guy. And simple and devoted to our Constitution and to really what an American treasure, a true treasure he is.
Oh, he is, and he's an individual that really is unafraid of expressing his opinion.
Yes.
He was the only dissenter on a 2A case, Supreme Court recently. So,
yeah.
And wow. Okay.
Yeah. And then the last one is Thomas Sowell. And they're friends, actually. Clarence Thomas and Thomas Sowell are friends. And but I've read I've read Sowell's Basic Economics book.
Okay.
Fabulous book. And not one that most people would want to read. It's a really big fat book. but
full of wisdom.
Yes. And he's outspoken too, just kind of the same. And yeah, there's always YouTube videos if you want to know what they're like ahead of time. You can check out.
True.
Them, yeah. But I'm excited.
That's a fascinating. This is over a year, so you're doing basically 3 or 4 books a semester.
Yeah, I'm going to I'll end up mapping it out based on I try and do it around vacations and things like that, so that the kids aren't they have a little bit of time off somewhere in there.
That's good.
So I really pay attention to that quite a bit.
Well, what a class! Because now for this class, into these fascinating lives, we're going to have a class where your students are going to get a taste of psychology, sociology, history, adaptation, writing. Oh yeah,
they have to write some papers.
Like, how many papers are we writing, and how intense?
Well, I have a rule of thumb. I don't assign more reading than I can read.
Yes.
And I don't in a week, and I don't assign I don't assign more work than I can correct. Right.
True.
So usually I have everybody do an author profile, but since I might have them write 1 page about each person that they read good. About, and then good. I'll have to see, because usually I come up with okay, I have my notes here. Oh yeah, so that's not the right one. All right.
Okay.
No, the other book I'm looking at, because right now I'm reading the Gulag Archipelago.
Oh, yeah. We tried to have a summer school class on that, but it didn't work out.
No, but I have one student, and so I'm doing that. But I actually wrote notes on the things that I wanted him to research in there.
Is he enjoying it?
Do you really want to know the truth? He's not been reading it. So I'm reading it, and every week I just get together with him and I go, okay, so did you get to the end of the chapter? So no. No. And but I plan on finishing the book on time. What's
fascinating about Lilli's classes is that she has a lot of fun, and especially when I remember back a few years back, she'd have these little parties, tea parties,
yeah.
And to let the students, she had all girls, I think, in that class.
Yeah.
And so it was fascinating. They had a wonderful time, and they created some nice friendships. They had good connections, and they're all learning classical stuff in the process. Yeah. And that's the important part about it.
That was that part, the one party, the girls just went over the top, because they did it was British lit, and everybody themed their food for the party after the book. So that was really good. And the other time, another year, we read The Bread Givers. The people in the book were Catholic, and a couple of the girls in the class were Catholic, but we decided that we were going to do Lent. Even if we weren't Catholic, we're going to do Lent. We were going to give up something, and it had to be something edible so that we could have a party with it when Lent was over.
Oh, that's exciting.
Yeah. So we had donuts and ice cream and coffee and all kinds of weird stuff. But
awesome. So the final word to your students.
Sign up, please. It's really fun and a lot of reading. You have to be committed to reading the books. That's sort of it. It's not as much fun if you don't read the book. But
can the students cheat and do audiobooks?
Well, you know what? I want them to annotate the books.
Okay. So
I mean, they could if they had a disability maybe, but if they can read, I want them to read.
Alrighty.
They can skip a book. If the parents have some objection or something to the book, they can skip a book.
Well, thank you, Miss Lilli.
So, thank you.
I hope that you get a good number of students who be joining probably one of the more fascinating classes that we
Yeah.
offer here. And I really think that this class is so unique and so fantastic. It would be a pleasurable and easy class to get your A in. And you have that elective, and you add to the diversity of your transcript
Yeah.
if you're college bound. All right. Well, thank you very much for joining us here at Excellence in Education Resource Center in Monrovia, California. And have a great day wherever you are.